So go to economics, chapter 18, workers. Who are workers? Workers are those that have job, those that have an occupation. So let's just go down. See. Now we start. Factors that influence an individual's choice of occupation. We say workers are those with a job. So what are those factors that influence your choice of occupation? First, what is occupation? Occupation is any productive activity which a person engages permanently to save its productivity time. Occupation is any productive activity, whatever is productive that you took, that you've engaged yourself in, instead of wasting your time.
Yes, yes.
That's what occupation is. That's your job. I think it's clear. Clear, right?
Yes.
So what are the factors that determine the kind of job you choose? Like I said, there's a wide range of factors that may influence a person's choice of jobs. This can be divided into wage factors, also called monetary or pecuniary factors. Non-wage factors also referred to as non-monetary factors and limiting factors. So your choice of choosing a job could be based on a wage factor or non-wage factor. That means monetary or non-monetary factor. So we start with wage factors. The reward for workers, the reward for labor is wages. So there's no doubt that wages will be part of the reasons we want to choose a job, isn't it?
Yes.
An important influence on what jobs a person decides to do is the pay on offer. The total pay a person receives is known as his earnings. In addition to the basic wage, earnings may also include overtime pay, bonuses, and commission. Your wages include, your earnings include your wage and other income that come with it. So your earnings might determine the kind of job you take. And when we talk about earnings, we're talking about it comprises your wages, the commission, bonuses, overtime pay. All these things are your earnings. They are all your income. So this can decide if you choose a job or not. Do you get the point?
Yes.
Now, wages. Wages may also be referred to as a pay or salaries. Generally, the higher the wage rate on offer, the more a person would want to do the job. High pay is one reason why working, for example, as a doctor is more attractive prospect than working as a cleaner. You get the point you're saying here? The higher the wage rate, the higher the attractiveness of that job. So if this job is lucrative, that means it has more pay. It will attract a lot of people. That is what they are saying. Example, doctors. Yes. Do you get the point, please? So the wages of many workers are based on the standard number of hours. Some workers' wages, however, vary according to the number of hours they work at a time rate system, or the amount they produce, a piece rate system. So when we talk about wages, we have two types of wages here. We have the piece rate or the time rate. The piece rate refers to you working based on the quantities you produced. That is based on your output. That is piece rate. And the time rate is based on the total hours you spent at workplace. So when you are paid based on the hours at work, it is called time rate. And when if you are paid based on the output you produce, it is piece rate. Is it clear?
Yes.
The former benefits employers can easily, so let's just talk about the advantages here. For time, they said the former benefits the employer as they can easily estimate their labor cost, and also the workers as they can bargain collectively about the rate pay. However, a time rate system does not reward hard work since it pays lazy and industrious workers are the same. The difference between piece rates and time rates is this. For piece rates, it justifies effort. Time rate does not justify effort. Time rate is all about you being at work from 8 to 8. Maybe you're lazy or you're not lazy, it doesn't justify it. But piece rate will justify your output. So it is easily measured. Efforts are easily measured when piece rate is used. Not the case of time rate. Time rate will reward lazy workers and hardworking workers. Do you get the point?
Yes.
Or industrious workers. This problem is overcome by a piece rate system, which pays workers according to their output. This system can only be used if a worker's output can easily be measured and the product is standardized. This is why, though it's sometimes found in agriculture and manufacturing, it is very common in the service sector. For example, it could not be applied to doctors. One doctor may carry out 3 operations while another may perform 8 operations in a day. The 3 operations, however, might have been more complex operations. Less supervision may be needed with the piece-rate system. But workers may focus on quantity at the expense of quality. Also, the health of some workers may suffer if they feel pressurized to produce a high output. When you have to measure through piece rate, there are some jobs that it's difficult to measure with piece rate. For example, medicine, surgery. Some surgeries might take less hours. Some will take more hours. So because you are involved with those ones that take more hours, you might not be able to do more than 2 surgeries in a day. But because I am taking those ones that take less hours, I might do 6 or 7. So if I have to measure, so it's difficult to measure using piece rate for such situation. For such situation, it's difficult. That is the point there. So here, you have to put into consideration quality than quantity. But if you are putting quantity into consideration, life of people will be at stake. Do you get it? Yes, yes, yes. People will not care because it is based on what we can do. So we will not do it well. Quality will suffer because everybody thinks about quantity. So when it comes to piece rate, when it is difficult to measure, think about quality. That is the point. Is it clear? Yes. That is about wages. We talked about wages already. We said we have piece rate and time rates. The problem about piece rate is that the advantage about using piece rate is that it solves the problem of being lazy at work. That's clear. Now we go to overtime pay, which is another monetary reason why people choose a job. Overtime pay may be paid to the workers who work in excess of the standard working week. It's usually paid at a higher rate. Overtime can benefit both employees and employers. Workers with young families, for example, are often anxious to increase their pay and may be attracted by jobs that offer regular overtime. It enables employers to respond to higher demand without taking on new workers until they are sure that the higher demand will last. It is easier, less costly, and less disruptive to reduce overtime than to sack workers if demand declines. Let me quickly explain this overtime here. Overtime pay means you are being paid for working extra hour at workplace. Those extra hours you work, you get more pay for that. So it is advantageous for employers and employees. How is it advantageous for employees? It is advantageous for employees because it means their employers will not be employing more workers to do additional job. They will be doing that job. So it increases their income or their earnings. Yes or no? Yes. How is it advantageous to employers? It is advantageous to employers because employers will not be spending additional cost to recruit workers. Yes or no? Yes. And when demand falls, they wouldn't need to sack workers. They will only reduce the overtime. Isn't it? Yes. So those that are doing overtime because of high demand will only stop overtime. They still continue their job. So employers are not losing their workers. They are not demotivating their workers. And they are not kicking out workers. So that's why it is beneficial to both employers and employees, overtime pay. Is it clear? Yes. There is a risk, however, that workers may become tired as a result of working for longer hours. If this does occur, the output they produce over the day may not increase and even its quality may fall. In fact, some employers have found that when workers are aware that they are going to be working for longer hours, they pace themselves accordingly and put less effort into each hour. So the problem about overtime pay is that workers might overwork. And if they overwork, it might affect the quality and the output they produce. And another problem is that because overtime pay more in terms of hours, workers might not do more during the day and put effort to do more during the night. Also, because overtime might take maybe 3-4 hours additional working hour, the time that they're going to spend doing those 4 hours would not be the same. It will decline in terms of efforts. So this is a problem about overtime pay. Is it clear?
Yes.
Any question about overtime? So we move on. Bonuses. A bonus is an extra payment. It can be paid to workers who produce above a standard amount, finish a project ahead of time, secure a profitable contract, or contribute to a higher profit in some other ways. Bonuses can provide an incentive for workers to produce okay. For workers to produce both a high and a good quality output or to stay with the firm. However, care has to be exercised while awarding them. So when we talk about bonus, bonus is an extra payment you get because you've finished a project or you've put specific effort into that job and a target was reached. That's the bonus. But they said it's also an incentive for workers to produce both high quality. When bonus is given, workers will want to do more because it means that their efforts are rewarded. Yes or no? However, care has to be exercised while awarding them. I did not record for a while, but it's fine. So, yes. So, for commission, so he said, however, care to be exercised while awarding them. Essentially, because if it is thought that they are awarded unfairly. So when you're given bonuses, try to do it fairly. If not, workers will get demotivated and you might start losing your employees. But those people who welcome a challenge and have confidence in their own ability may attract the jobs which pay bonuses. So bonuses are good for those who have confidence in their ability because they know that whatever effort they put into the job, it is rewarding for them. So they will put effort and they can do it. Then we go to commission. For commission is basically for those who sell. I'm talking about those who sell services. For those who sell services, like bankers, like marketers, so they get commission, which becomes, it becomes a part of a proportion of what they make in terms of money. So when they sell certain property, they get a percentage of the proportion of what they sell. That is what commission is. So these are all about wage factors. We say for wage factors, we're talking about factors that make people to choose a kind of job. We talked about wages, which can have the piece rate and the price rate. We talked about commission. We talked about bonuses. We talked about overtime payments. Now go to non-wage factors. For non-wage factors, we're talking about factors that money cannot buy. So here they said, people do not always choose the highest paid job on offer. They take into account a range of other factors, including job satisfaction, type of work, working conditions, working hours, holidays, pensions, fringe benefits, job security, career prospects, size of firm, and location. So here we're talking about factors that are way beyond money. So now we start with job satisfaction. When we talk about just job satisfaction, for job satisfaction, are you there now? For job satisfaction, we're talking about the happiness you derive doing that job. That's job satisfaction. So for job satisfaction, we have job enrichment, job enlargement, and job enrichment, job enlargement, and job enrichment, enlargement, and job rotation. Those are the three job satisfaction these are the three things that make up job satisfaction. Job enrichment, job rotation, job enlargement. Job enrichment, job rotation, and job enrichment, rotation, enlargement. Yes, thank you. Yeah. So those are the three reasons why we have job satisfaction in our job. So that's about that. Then we go to type of work. The kind of job, they said most people would rather do non-manual than manual work. This is because it is physically less tiring and generally offers more mental stimulation. Non-manual work also tends to be better paid. People also like to do jobs which enjoy a high status, and most of these tend to be non-manual. So the kind of job you are into can also determine if you choose you choose that job or not. People like to do a job that, especially white collar jobs, jobs that involves mental effort rather than physical method, no, rather than physical method. That is the point they're making here. So people might choose a job not because of the pay, rather because of the kind of job it is. It's mental, not physical. It does not take away their physicality. Working conditions. People like to work in a conducive environment, yes or no? That's good. So the working conditions are an important determining factor. People like to work in a pleasant surrounding with friendly colleagues and enjoying regular breaks. People wants to work, nobody wants to work in a toxic environment. That is the point. Working hours. Occupations vary in terms of the numbers of hours expected from workers and the timing of those hours. Managers and senior officers tend to work for longer hours than shop workers. Some occupations offer workers the opportunity to work part-time, say 16 hours a week. A number of them also offer flexible working hours, where workers alter the hours they work from week to week. This is sometimes to suit the employers, with workers working longer hours when demand for the product is high, and sometimes to suit the workers. An example of the latter case is parents engaging in term time working. So the kind of hours you have to spend at workplace can also decide or determine if you choose a job or not. So some jobs needs to take more hours at workplace. If you are kind of person that needs hours off work, you might not be able to, you might not be attracted to such job. For example, parents, or especially the mothers, they need to take care of the kids and they feel like, oh, this job is going to take more hours than usual. I can't do that job because I need to be with the kids at a certain period of time. You get it? Holidays. People like to enjoy holidays. People want holiday. People want to take time off work. So if the job does not allow or does not permit you to have better holiday or more time for holiday, then you might not choose that job. That's the point. The job might be lucrative, but because you don't have that time for holiday, you might not choose the job. Is it clear? Yes. Pensions. With people living longer in most countries, operational pensions are becoming more important influence. There is considerable variation in the provision of operational pensions. Some jobs provide their workers with generous pensions, while others do not provide any financial help post-retirement. So some people choose a job because the job provides them pensions after retirement. Not all jobs. So you might choose a job because you know after retirement, you still have some income coming for you. So people might be attracted. It is not a wage factor. It's still part of what? A non-wage factor, because you're not working at that time. You are thinking about when you don't work anymore, when you are retired. So you are attracted to that job because that job would provide you with pension after retirement. So that's another factor that people put in consideration when choosing a job. Fringe benefits. These are benefits that you get because you are part of an organization, like the use of company car, scholarship. You won't get scholarship. You won't use a company's car if you are not working in that company. Yes or no? Yes. So fringe benefits are benefits you get because you are part of an institution or an organization. Yet it says free benefits are the extra benefits provided to workers by their employers. These may include free or subsidized meals, health schemes, social and leisure facilities, paying for a major. Okay, so the point is that these benefits, you enjoy them because you are part of that institution or that organization. Maybe as a teacher, my children might be going to school on scholarship. That's a fringe benefit. So I might choose a job based on fringe benefits, not because of salary. Is it clear? Yes. Job security. People sometimes are attracted to a job that they know their future is secured. There are some jobs that does not secure your future. You do it for a while and you are out of it. So people choose a job when they know that there's tendency for them to stay longer at that job. That is job security. Is it clear? Yes. Career prospects. People are often prepared to accept low wages at the start of their careers if they think there is a good possibility that they will gain promotion to a well-paid and interesting post. Trainee accountants, baristas, and doctors are not usually high-paid and often work for long hours at the beginning of their careers. They will expect, however, that as they pass examinations and gain experience, their pay will rise to a relatively high level and their work will become more challenging. So, we're talking about jobs at the beginning are not rewarding. But as time goes on, based on the experience, they start becoming rewarding. Do you get it? I could cite example as my job. Some 7 years ago when I started, I was earning around 500 dinars. And today we're talking about maybe times 14, times 15 of it. Do you understand? So the career prospect about the job, the experience, you need to gather experience before you start getting more pay. Is it clear? Yes. Now, the size of the firms. People are often attracted to jobs in large firms and organizations. This is because such firms and organizations often pay more and offer better career prospects, job security, and fringe benefits than smaller ones. So some people choose job because of how big the company is. So I wouldn't want to work in a small school because working in a small school might not give me the kind of benefits I would get working in a big school. Is it clear? Yes. Any question about that? Then location. For location, we're talking about how closer is your job to your house. Some people will choose a job because it's closer to their home. They might decide not to choose a job because it's far away from them. That is location. So these are all what we call non-wage factors that will decide your choice of occupation. Is it clear? Yes. Any question about that? No. So we end the class here.